Yo guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my custom tactics video. Now in this video I'll obviously show you my formation, tactics, instructions, get you through exactly what I do, how I use the tactics as well, and explain why it has been revolutionary for me. It's been so effective. I can't stress this enough. Now I usually don't put too much emphasis into tactics because tactics can only get you so far. A system that you play in FIFA could only get you so far. It's the same with the players. It's about how you play on the pitch. However, this year more than ever, I feel like tactics and formations do change your game. So this is the team that I'm using. This is the Road to Glory. If you want to catch up and see how we managed to build this team in about a month of FIFA, make sure you check out the RTG playlist. Link will be in the description. Catch up and check out the Twitch streams as well. twitch.tv/Massnar. That's where I stream. But yeah, I'll get straight into the tactics. So obviously I do use a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. If I go and show you right here, boom. So 4-1-2-1-2 second variation narrow. You look at this and you're like, wait, this is just balanced. There's nothing going on here. That's the point. But the instructions is what makes the this whole system different. So defensive style balanced. I do prefer it unbalanced. I've tried everything. Pressure on every touch, press after possession loss, constant pressure, drop back. I've tried everything, right? For me, balance is still the best. Width on 5. I feel like it's important, especially if you're playing in a narrow formation. You gotta keep it balanced. Same with the depth. Don't want to be too high depth or too low depth. You want to maintain a good shape, and you don't want a big gap between your defenders and your midfielders, which is what usually happens when you go too low depth. So 5 depth is where it's at, in my opinion. Offensive style, I go unbalanced. Again, I found it to be the best. I've used fast build, I've used long ball. It does work in some formations and whatnot, but in this particular system, balance is the best. Same with the width, and same with players in the box. Now, with the instructions, first of all, this is how my team sets up. So I have Neymar on the left, Rashford on the right, Mahrez as the cam, Saint Max as my center mid, Alan as my DM, Fred as my right center mid, Kyle Walker and Tellez as left back. Now, you look at this and you're like, wait, why is Saint Max as your center mid? I'll explain. So let's start with the let's start with the strikers. So the 2 strikers, I have them on getting behind. That's it, just getting behind. You want your 2 strikers to constantly be making runs in behind the defenders. Always. As soon as you get the ball, they're always making runs, right? That's what you want. The cam, you want the cam to stay forward, right, and get into the box. Now, the way I have it, especially the way I play, I need I need a number 10 in that role. Like, I need a player that can either hold the ball for the 2 strikers to run in behind, or sometimes be in a position where they overlap themselves. So Mahrez, in a lot of times, he does get forward in behind Rashford and Neymar, and that is what makes it so effective. You have essentially 3 forwards in Neymar, Rashford and Mahrez. Obviously you can use different players, but they get into the box for cross. I think that's what makes the cam essentially getting behind like the striker. Obviously there's no getting behind instruction, but with Mahrez, with the cam, you can instruct the cam to get into the box. On the right center mid, I do have my player on stay back while attacking and cover center. This is important because obviously it's the same with the DM. I have my DM on stay back while attacking and cover center. You want, because the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow is so you only have 1 DM, you want that extra defensive support. You have 2 strikers, you have 1 DM. A lot of times people get exposed playing the 4-1-2-1-2, so you want that extra bit of help defensively. So that's why I always have a box-to-box type player or somebody that's decent at defending, playing on the right, to help out the DM. So both of these guys have the same instructions: stay back while attacking, cover center. Now, it's very different on the left side. On the left side, I have my center mid on just basically on balance, but the only difference is to have cover center, no stay back, right? So cover center, balanced, no stay back. And you want to have a player in this position that can essentially play as a winger or a cam or a striker even. If I could describe this role, if you guys play Football Manager, this is the Massnar role, right? This is the player that essentially plays as a winger, that provides width from the midfield. A lot of times, right, my Saint Max is, right next to Neymar in the attack. Sometimes overlaps Neymar, right? 4-1-2 narrow, it's in the name. Diamond narrow is so narrow, right? You want to have some sort of width, because if you stay too narrow, it becomes too predictable. So in this position, in the left and the mid, you want to pick a player that can attack. Don't focus too much on a box-to-box type player or defensive type player. Focus on a player that can attack. At least this is the way I've used the system. So same max on the left, balanced in order to, like I said, push forward. The two fullbacks stay back while attacking, and the center backs stay back while attacking, obviously. And the keeper, I think I've got the keeper on comms for crosses and sweep the keeper. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I just prefer it because it sounds better, right? So the fullbacks obviously stay back. Now that's why I have a player over here to provide the width, right? Because when you have fullbacks and stay back with a 4-1-2 narrow, like I said, it does become too narrow. You want to be able to have that extra dynamic ability in the attack. So Saint Max left center mid on balance to provide the width. And so essentially, if I give you like a quick explanation on how this tactic works, in the attack, you have your two strikers. If you're trying to, like, a lot of my goals from this, like the last weekend league, I got 28 and 2. I could have, honestly, that weekend I could have got a 30. But 28 and 2 with this is like on a road to glory is very good. And a lot of my goals came from counterattacks, and a lot of times because I have two strikers and my cam on stay forward, a lot of times you'll see your players sticking by the opponent's defenders. And so when your opponent attacks, they don't commit as many players forward. So as soon as you get the ball, right, you can literally pass it to one of your center mids, and then straight through ball to one of your strikers as they get in behind, and it works so well. And if you don't get the chance to counter, you can still break teams down so well, because again, you have the two strikers, you have the cam, and you have the extra attacker in there that can overlap. So I've loved this tactic information so far. It's been amazing for me. I've used the 4-2-3-1, I've used the 4-4-2, I've used the 4-2-2-2. They were decent, but for me, this has been just the best. Like this, I feel like this year FIFA, like I've used the 4-2-3-1 since like FIFA 18, right? This FIFA, the 4-1-2 has just been working so well, and I don't want to, don't want to change it. I'm enjoying it. I'll say this though. Here's 2 tips for you with those tactics, right? 2 tips, take it from me, right? Tip number 1, try and get used to defending with the 4-1-2 narrow, because let me tell you this, right? If you learn how to defend with the 4-1-2 narrow, you become, like, I'm not gonna say you become unstoppable, but you get that extra level, because it's harder to defend with the 4-1-2 narrow. But as soon as you learn the patterns, as soon as you learn to bring your center mid back and defend with your DM, and use your center backs to press at the right time and everything, right? As soon as you learn that, you have that sort of advantage, because in the attack you're so good, right? And tip number 2 is, in my opinion, always have a backup formation. I had one game out of the 30 games I played where, and I eventually won that game, where the guy actually switched to a 4-4-2, I believe, and he started playing so wide. I think he had the hug the sideline instruction from the D-pad, and he started having his fullbacks pushing forward. And so, as you can imagine, 4-4-2 versus the 4-1-2-1-2. If you start playing very wide, you can expose it through the flanks. So as soon as I realized that, I switched to a 4-2-3-1. Just a simple balanced 5 width 4 depth, and just telling my players to sort of telling the camps to come back on defense to support the fullbacks, because obviously if you're playing an opponent that's overloading the flanks, you want to have some sort of support. But that's not really essential in every game. You don't need it, but just in case, if you feel like you're getting too exposed, if the opponent starts team pressing like crazy, or you don't feel comfortable in the patterns, switch it up, just in game, again, to have that tactical advantage. But this for me so far, like, I love it. So let me know how it works for you in the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, join the Twitch streams as well. Yeah, I'd love to hear about how it goes for you. Just give it a try, right? In Rivals, I've had I've won about, I want to say, 150 skill points. I am D1. I'm getting close to 2200, and yeah, hopefully a 30 is coming soon as well. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe. I'll see you next time. Peace.